The King's Bastion is a large fortification that projects boldly from the curtain wall which spanned the western side of the old town. Its form was based on the tradition of bastion fortification that had dominated military architecture for more than 25 years, and together with its sister bastions, provided flanking fire onto any enemy that would stray close to the base of the city walls. When it was built, the fortress jutted out into the waters of the Bay of Gibraltar. The land in front of it that you see today was reclaimed much later, at the beginning of the 20th century, as part of the new dockyard works. As you walk through the entrance tunnel, which was built once the land reclamation had been carried out, you will see recessed areas with the chimney shafts still visible. These were used for cooking soldiers' meals and also during battle to smoulder the cannonballs before firing them at the enemy. These areas are now usually used to exhibit a historic costume display. A wall plaque on the opposite wall commemorates the opening of the Bastion as a premier leisure centre on the 28th of February 2008. The open square inside the fortress, which was used for military parades, now features a 14-lane bowling centre. The walls on the left, which have been converted into a bar, cafeteria and restaurant dining areas, used to be the barracks for the 800 soldiers that were stationed in the Bastion when it was built. On the right-hand side of the entrance was the armoury store where the gunpowder, musket shots and cannonballs were housed, and also the coal stores. Metal cradles were used to hoist these to the top of the reinforced walls that were 10 to 15 feet thick and 8 feet high. Later on in history, the building was converted into an electricity generating station, which started operating in October 1961, and for many years provided the power supply for the city of Gibraltar. Massive generators occupied the area where the bowling lanes are now. On the other end of the square you will find a games arcade and pool table rooms. These used to be the stables for the soldiers' horses, and the little room where the internet lounge is now located used to be a small chapel. When the leisure centre was being constructed, old maps were found that showed that there was an alley at the back where the soldiers used to pass the time throwing iron balls at skittles, the earliest form of bowling which Francis Drake is credited with having created. On the second floor you will find an ice skating ring and 2 cinemas. The latter can accommodate around 100 spectators each. By 1859, on the bastion walls were mounted 25 guns, 17 32-pounders, 2 10-inch howitzers and 6 8-inch smooth-bore guns. Some are shown still in their place with replicas of the original wooden mounts. By contrast, these terraces now provide the ideal location for summer barbecues and special events. In 1878, the embrasures along the faces were removed and a concrete and masonry casemate built to house 5 Victorian rifled muzzle-loading guns. 4 10-inch cannons that weighed 18 tons each and a massive 12.5-inch cannon that weighed 38 tons. This one used a sliding carriage to maneuver it into place. The gun ports were additionally protected by curved metal shields. As this was a time of relative peace, the guns were never fired in battle, and for many years the fortress remained a saluting battery for the British Empire. As you will see, great care has been taken in the restoration of the original stonework, and the area is now used as a youth disco and lounge on the north side and a wine bar and nightclub on the south side. During the conflicts of the Second World War, the battle was modified once again with the addition of 6-pounder anti-tank guns. The two emplacements at either end of the promenade show the sites where anti-aircraft guns were once mounted. The only access to the town area was through the back doorway, and this was used to bring in the provisions and other supplies. The part of the building that is on top was the command headquarters where the generals would prepare the military strategy. It may have also been the quarters for the higher ranking officers. In the 1960s and 70s, these rooms were used as civilian living quarters, although nowadays they have been converted into a fully equipped fitness gym. Some of them are also used for other recreational activities such as yoga, tai chi, pilates and Latin dance classes, etc. The idea for building the bastion came from Colonel Skinner, but it was designed by William Green with the collaboration of Sir Robert Boyd, Deputy Governor of Gibraltar at the time, who laid the foundation stone in 1773. Boyd was General Elliot's second in command when the invading forces of the joint Spanish and French armadas attacked the rock at the time of the Great Siege, which lasted from 1779 to 1783. Boyd later became governor, and when he died in 1794, his final wish was that his remains be buried inside the fortress walls where they still lie. This is at the back of one of the walls behind the bowling bar. In the landing of the first floor that leads to Langwell Road, you will find a series of panels that depict the various stages through history in the life of the King's Bastion. Other panels are displayed in the entrance tunnel and in the Internet Lounge.